Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. So today we are going to be using the Younger Futhark. So this is a much shorter Futhark than the Elder Futhark that I normally use, which is 24 runes in a blank. The Younger Futhark is basically 16 runes. I've had to take a few liberties with it to make it readable because a lot of the Younger Futhark doesn't look like, they look the same upside and down and right side up, and sometimes they're dots and it's just like but I basically used a combination of the long branch or long stem Younger Futhark. This is something I am in the process of studying, so I'm not going to be as entirely knowledgeable. However, I have had to make some exceptions. For example, Madra and ear look the same, so I had to mark ear with 2 dots, which is one of its representations. Anyway, so I am going to do readings with the Younger Futhark, and it is a picka. It's a picka. You're gonna pick a reading. So we have to choose from a reading from the dragon, a reading from the horse, or a reading from the bear. So feel into the 3 beings that you see here, the 3 spiritual beings, and see which one of them has a message for you. And I am going to put the timestamps for each reading in the description, and you can go there and get your Younger Futhark reading. Oh, Younger Futhark. Just to mention, these are, people say, oh, it's Viking runes. The Elder Futhark are not Viking runes. They predate the Vikings. However, the Younger Futhark were pretty much what the Vikings were using. However, once again, not with the liberties that I've taken with some of them just to make them representational. Another thing about the Younger Futhark, if you're still here listening to me natter on about them, some of them look the same as the Elder Futhark runes, and all of them sort of partly representational of what you get from the Elder Futhark runes, except almost all of these runes have almost completely different meanings. So it's going to be a bit of a ride, so off we go. So again, dragon, horse, or bear, go to the timestamp that I put in the description for the reading that you need, and I will see you there. Hello, dragon people. So, dragon people, we are here to get a reading from the Younger Futhark, and this is the reading that the dragon is going to give you. So let's see what message we get, what message you need to hear today for the dragon people. So I'm just going to throw down, let's do 5. Let's do 5. If I need 7, I will add the other 2. But you'll see what I mean when I start reading these, because they're very different. So, the central issue here is Fae. Fae is basically, it's sort of the Elder Futhark equivalent of Fehu, except it's not. While Fehu does have to do with wealth and worth, Fae has to do with gold, but it's also, as per the poems, it has to do with wealth that really shows you who your friends are. And in that it's reversed, it has to do with something that is part of your inner worth that really shows you who your friends are, basically. It can be a cause of strife because it causes jealousy. So there's something going on with you that you are, you're basically inwardly radiating this sense of this worth, this gold that you have that's coming from inside. But the problem is it is causing some strife because some people around you are jealous and perhaps are making things difficult for you because of that. Don't ever let anybody make you hate what you love. So I'm just going to say that right now, because those are toxic people. You don't need those people in your lives. And once again, as the poem says, for Fae, a wolf grows up in the woods. So this is going to show you who in your friend group, quote unquote, is the secret wolf. Not that I dislike wolves at all. I love them. However, from a mythic standpoint, who's basically going to be a lot more ravenous than should be in that context. So leading up to this, we have Ur. Ur is it's actually not the wild ox in the Younger Futhark. It is drizzle, something that can really just wear you down, and it's also slag, which is the waste that comes from like doing blacksmithing and things, that when you're smelting something. So But reversed, it has, upright, it has to do with what has worn you down, but has also revealed the true metal of you, and it's reversed. So it's basically internally, you've come from a lot of inner work where you've basically been worn down, but this has actually revealed the true metal of you. So leading up to that, here's where you are. It's like, this is basically because you went through this, and whoever's jealous of you has no idea that that's why you emanate this wealth, this gold, from within, is because of what you went through and because of what got basically washed out of you through this intense, exhausting, just wearing down, that tempered you and basically made it so that this internal gold is just shining through, and making people kind of jealous, maybe, which could be a problem, which is what your central issue is. So what helps here is we have Hagal. Hagal it's again the hailstorm. The little slightly more deep meaning of this for the Younger Futhark is this is something that was natural energies, natural forces that were put in place by Odin at the beginning of time. So what will help you deal with the people who are jealous of your internal gold that you are emanating is just going, you know what, it's like haters gotta hate, it's like this is something that's out of my control, and it's been the way things have been since the beginning of time, and even though it's horrible and that's just the way that it is. It's nature. So it will help you deal with this by just looking at this as like weather, like people are coming at you and being jerks, and you're like, you know what, that's nature, that's the way that it is. So that will help you accept that. What doesn't help is we have not Sovilo. We have Saul. Saul is the Younger Futhark version of Sovilo. Saul basically has to do with, it's obviously the sun, it has to do with illumination, and it has to do with triumph over darkness. And why this drags you down is you're going to have this feeling like this should be, what these people are doing to me should be punished. Please punish this, punish this thing that is just like, this jealousy and this meanness that I'm getting because of just who I am and what I've been through in terms of what has made me who I am, and the strength and the wealth and worth that I have internally, the gold that I have smelted. Well, not smelted gold, I don't know how gold works, but anyway, the internal riches that I can't help emanating, that I went through a lot to get, and that is making people jealous, and making people difficult around me. I feel like there's a part of me that wants this to be punished, and that's going to drag you down, because that's not how it actually works, unfortunately. There is karma, but if you're going to stand around and wait for these people to get the punishment you think they deserve, then that's actually going to make things a lot worse for you, and you're not going to be able to move on. So what helps, as the Younger Futhark runes say, with Hagal, is just accept that, just get yourself comfortable with the fact that this is just weather, this is just not nature, and that's just the way it is, and you just have to weather it, and you'll get through it, and it's just going to be one of those things. So it's just one of the things in the world, and this also shows you who your friends are, and so just, maybe it's sad to let go of people who you thought were your friends, but maybe that's just what it's going to have to be. And ultimately, we have, what this leads to is Tyr. Again, Tyr's rune, it's actually named for Tyr in the Younger Futhark, and it is reversed, and it's on the path line. So basically, it is going to say, there's going to be a bit of sacrifice, inside, which is going to be kind of like this. You're going to be sacrificing this, basically. You're going to be sacrificing this desire to see these people punished. You're just going to be just letting it go. And you're going to be tending your own internal duties and responsibilities, basically. You're going to be just getting on with things. Maybe you're going to feel like your hands cut off, as far as I just, as with Tyr, mythically. But it's just going to be what, I have to take care of me. I have to make sure, because you went through all of this, and you have this emanating gold because of it. And this is going to be, it's disturbing and it's upsetting, but it's nature. So just like take a breath, move on with your duties, and your duties are to yourself, basically. You don't have to manage other people's triggers. So that is your Younger Futhark reading from the dragon. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, people who were called by the horse. So the horsey has a reading for you, and I'm going to move the horsey over here. And we are going to see what the reading is from the Younger Futhark for the people who selected the reading from the horse. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Did I mention in the opening that the Younger Futhark runes are a lot more brutal than the Elder Futhark runes? Did I? Because they are. Okay. So, your central issue is represented here by Khan, and unlike in the Elder Futhark where it represents fire, in the Younger Futhark it represents a sore, like a ulcer or a welt or something. It is upright, so it might actually be something physical that you're dealing with that is causing you grief. And sorry, I'm so sorry to hear that. So anyway, that's basically the thing, and basically saying that the more innocent people are, then the more they're going to be affected by this. But it's also, the more mature you are, then the easier you're able to just sort of assimilate it. But that's your basic central issue at the moment. Something is causing you grief. Something is hurting you. Like, I would say, because it's not reversed, I would say physically something is hurting you, and this could be physical, like physical pain. A sore, like a wound or something. Sometimes, I mean, if it was reversed, I would say something like grief or something that was a sore point, but this is really looking more like a physical thing. So it looks like you've been through something already, something that tormented you really badly. We have Thor's. Thor's is the thorns, it's the giant. It has to do with anything that's like something that's like a tormentor, something you would actually want to have like a runic ward against, like something you want to prevent against, but you actually went through it. So you've been through it, and this looks like lingering pain from it that you're dealing with. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. What helps, say the Younger Futhark, is Isa. Now, it does mean ice, just like in the Elder Futhark. However, there's a connotation to it that you see in the runic poems for this that is not only stillness, but also solidity, and basically the solidity of somebody who can escort the blind, solidity that joins land. Like in the winter, this would become like the broad road between lands, because it was so cold that the ice would happen, and it would be so solid. So this has to do with solidity, and I'm seeing this as build bridges between like people and things. Like, find your bridges, and find the people who are going to be solid for you, who are going to be, who are going to be able to be there steadfastly for you, because that's what's going to help you. And just build your bridges and basically make sure that you have access to solidness for this period of time. I mean, this is basically for a season, and so that alone implies that it probably isn't, it's not going to be like a forever thing, but for this period of time, make sure you find your solidity. What doesn't help is you're going to feel like this is like right the heck out of control. Like, this is Hagal, it's the hailstorm. Even in the Younger Futhark, it's the hailstorm. It also has to do with hail. It's basically the connotation in the Younger Futhark rune poem is that this was put in place, like, this is ancient natural energies, this is ancient natural forces. This is something that has like been in place since the beginning of time, put in place by the gods, and it's like you can't get away from it in terms of you can't argue with it. It's not something that's arguable. So same with this. It's like this is a natural, unfortunately, as painful and horrible as it is a natural force. It's chaotic, but it's a natural force, and it's something that you basically have to weather. And this drags you down because it's like, you can't argue with this. You can't argue with this thing that is causing this for you. So what the Younger Futhark is saying is, if this is actually the case for you, bring yourself back up to where you are building the bridges, where you are connecting with people who are going to be solid there for you, and also to just develop solidity for yourself as well. Like, give yourself, it doesn't have to be people all the time that you're connecting with for the bridges you're building. You could be building bridges to support systems and to support, just things that are going to give you the support you need during this season of pain, which I'm so sorry that you're going through. And eventually, what this is all going to lead to is a nice melt of it, hopefully. This is Logger. Logger is the Logger. It's Logger with an umlaut. And Logger is the it's water. It's in the rune poems, it has to do with water that's coming down from the mountains, and there's the reference to I want to make sure that I'm relaying this properly. It's filled with riches. Like this version of Logger, this version of this is in the water is great riches. It's food, it's gold, it's things that are coming down from the mountain, and it's really, really just, it's filled with riches and nourishment. So it's a flow. So things will actually flow again, including emotions. You're going to have, there's going to be that element of passionateness that's going to reawaken as things calm down. Like right now, it's just like, you're contracted in pain, and I'm so sorry. Again, that's like awful. It is awful. So focus on building the bridges and connections and the solidity that you need for this. And this will melt. This will flow again. One of the connotations with Logger is that it warns against riches that come from on high. That they may be more costly than you're willing to deal with, but I don't think that's the case on this particular spread in the central path line. I really see this as more things are going to relax, things are going to flow again, and you're going to be able to be more open to the richness of life that is going to be flowing into your life than you have been since this happened, when you went through this torment, this ordeal, and are still dealing with the pain. Again, look for solidity. Try not to let yourself get dragged down by thinking about how I can't argue with this. This is something that is just weather and it has to go through it, and how long is it going to take? Things will flow again. I promise, the runes promise, and that is your reading. So I wish you a lovely day or evening. I hope you're feeling better soon, and take care till next time. Bye. Hello, bear people. So, the people who were drawn to the bear, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to put the bear on this side instead of on the left because the bear is looking this way and I want the bear to see the reading. So, so what do the Younger Futhark runes have as a message for you? Okay. That's the one that looks like, there's two runes that look like this, and one is basically looks like the reversal of the other one, and I have to make sure because I put marks on the one that is the reversed one. And anyway, on we go. So your central issue is Madra. Madra is the rune of need. Similar to Nauthi's, it's the rune of need, but there's a lot more immediacy in Madra than there is in Nauthi's. Madra has to do with something that has to be addressed immediately. The example the rune poems give is if you're outside in the frost, you need clothes. Like that's basically the level of need that we're talking about here. So basically, there's a lot more emergency to Madra in the Younger Futhark than there is in the Elder Futhark. What led up to this is you have found yourself recently really standing on your own. This is in Madra, and Madra is sort of like Manas in the Elder Futhark, except it's more about the potential and the ambition of humanity. Sort of like humans have great potential. They can be the decorations of ships, or they can just sit around and do nothing all their lives, and that's their life. So it basically talks about potential and ambition and the joy of each other. basically, but this is reversed, and so this really has to do with focusing on yourself, and you are you're still focusing on your ambition and potential, but you're really focusing on your own self out, like as your own song, as opposed to amidst everybody else. You've gone into more of a solitude way of doing things and a way of moving forward. So you're sort of taking your own path. But this has led to a point where you are now, where you're saying, well, I have needs, and these needs are really, really urgent, and I need. So, what the Younger Futhark is telling me telling us that will help you is we have As. As is it's the rune. It's sort of the equivalent of Ansu's, which was the rune of communication and manifestation in the Elder Futhark, but this is more along the lines of, it is sort of communication, but it's mostly it's the god. It's like Odin, Odin's rune, and there's also a reference in the poems to like a sword's sheath or an estuary, and something that through manifestation of being, creating your world, you create a home space, a place of security and protection. So do that. So the runes are basically saying you have needs. This is the time for you to manifest. And this, like, we're not Harry Potter type magicians, and I'm no affiliation with Harry Potter, so that's just basically just my example. But we're not like movie magicians where we manifest by waving a wand, etc. Some of us do a bit of that, but it's a lot more subtle, as any magician can tell you. So basically, you're going to be wanting to bring into existence and manifest around you a sense of security, a sense of home, a sense of protection, something that's going to give you a safe place to be so that your needs are tended. And that's what you really want to focus on. Like, this is an emergency always, whenever you see this one in the Younger Futhark. So what this is saying is, become sort of the god of your own life. In this, like, you've already started. Don't go halves on this. Like, just basically, you have needs. So take charge of this. Take over this and manifest your safe place to be, your secure place, your sheath for the sword that is you, your estuary for your mythical eggs. So this is basically what this is saying. What doesn't help you is this is wearing you down. This is Ur, and Ur in the Younger Futhark is not like Uruz in the Elder Futhark. Uruz in the Elder Futhark is the wild ox and has to do with strength and protection. In the Younger Futhark, Ur is drizzle, and it will just wear you down. It is exhausting, and that's what this is like. This need that you have, and this is just wearing you down, and you're exhausted. So that's a problem right now for you. And that could drag you down a lot, and it's like the swamps of sadness. It could just like sink you in, and you will like sink, and that's really not going to help you. So if you start to feel like that, take a deep breath. Remember why you started this. And yes, you have needs. What's going to make you feel better with these needs is tending them. And the way you're going to tend them is going to be about manifesting around you. And by manifesting, I mean making your surroundings somewhere that will protect you, somewhere that will be secure for you, somewhere that you can think of as your home. Become the god of your own life, basically. You started, keep going. And what this will lead to is we have Tyr's rune and reversed. So Tyr's rune, it's actually called Tyr in the Younger Futhark. Similar to Tivaz, it has to do with duties and responsibilities, also sacrifice. But it is reversed, so this has to do with internal. So you're going to be doing a lot of, once you get your sort of physical space created where you're going to feel safe and secure, this is where you're going to turn inward and really do some like tending of your duties and responsibilities inwardly. But also it may be an element of sacrifice that you may have to do. Just, maybe you had a certain code that you're like, I will never, blah, blah, blah. It's like, maybe you have to. Maybe some of the I will nevers you may have to like sacrifice so that you can keep living, so that you can keep doing this thing that you did this for. So good luck, bear people. That is your reading. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.